The air was stale and thick with the scent of forgotten memories as I stepped back into the house that had once been my prison of laughter and disdain. It was a place where dreams were laughed at, where my relentless pursuit of the supernatural, my obsession with the whispers in the ducts, had earned me the title of the family lunatic. I could still hear the echoes of their mockery ringing in my ears. "You'll lose your mind chasing ghosts in the walls. You'll disgrace this family." But I was no longer the fragile figure they had dismissed, the one who had once trembled under the weight of their words. I was a survivor, a specialist in supernatural infrastructure detection. As I stood in the doorway, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows that clawed at the edges of the room. My family was gathered in the living room, their faces a mix of surprise and trepidation at my unexpected arrival. I could feel their eyes scrutinizing me, searching for the remnants of the deluded child they had once known. "Ethan?" My mother's voice cracked, a mix of disbelief and concern. "What are you doing here?" I stepped inside, the door creaking ominously behind me. "I came to talk about what I found." They exchanged glances, a silent communication of skepticism and fear. I could see the flicker of doubt in their eyes, a fear of what they couldn't understand. But I was no longer afraid. I had faced the darkness that lurked in the ventilation shafts of forgotten buildings, the remnants of lost souls echoing in the pipes, and I had emerged alive, transformed. "Ethan, please," my father said, his voice laced with paternal authority. "You need to stop this madness. You're scaring your mother." "Madness?" I scoffed, the bitterness of their disbelief bubbling to the surface. "What I've uncovered isn't madness. It's a warning. I've seen things you wouldn't believe, things that haunt the very foundations of this house." The room fell into a heavy silence, the air thick with unspoken words and buried fears. I could sense their discomfort. The way they shifted in their seats as I recounted my encounters with the spectral whispers, the shadows that had danced just beyond the periphery of my vision. I spoke of the disappearances linked to the old ductwork, the strange voices that echoed through the walls, the spectral figures that had emerged from the darkness, beckoning me to follow. "And you think you can just waltz back in here and tell us we were wrong?" My sister, Emily, snapped, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and fear. "You've lost it, Ethan. You've become the very thing we feared." But I was no longer the fragile boy they had mocked. I was a vessel of knowledge and terror, and I could feel the weight of what I carried pressing down on me. "You think I'm a fool? You think I'm insane? Just wait. You'll see." And then the air shifted. A cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing the flickering candles and casting us into darkness. I felt it, a presence, something that had followed me back from the depths of the ducts, something that had been lurking just beyond the threshold of our reality. "Ethan?" My mother's voice trembled, her confidence shattered by the encroaching gloom. "Stay back," I shouted, feeling the familiar tug of fear and determination. The shadows coalesced, taking form. Elongated figures with hollow eyes that stared into the depths of my soul. "They're here," I whispered, my heart racing. "They've come for you." Panic erupted in the room as the shadows unfurled, revealing the tortured faces of those I had encountered in my journeys. My family stumbled backward, their eyes wide with horror as the truth of my words enveloped them. "You thought I was delusional, but these are the ones who haunt the infrastructure, the ones lost in the void between the walls." I watched as my father's bravado crumbled, as he backed into the corner, trembling. My mother clutched Emily, who was frozen in place, her face a mask of disbelief and terror. "This is what you mocked," I shouted, my voice rising above their gasps. "This is what I survived. You laughed at me, but now you see the truth." The shadows writhed, and with their movement came the whispers, voices echoing through the ducts, the same voices I had heard in the depths of abandoned buildings. "Help us! Find us!" they cried, a cacophony of sorrow and despair that filled the room. And in that moment, I felt a twisted sense of vindication. The very thing they had dismissed as insanity had come to claim them, to show them the horrors I had faced alone. They had scoffed at my passion, but now they were witnesses to its terrible reality. As the shadows closed in around us, I stepped forward, my heart pounding with the weight of what I had become. "You wanted proof, didn't you?" I breathed, my voice barely a whisper. "Welcome to the truth." But then, as suddenly as it had begun, the darkness receded, leaving my family trembling in the cold, oppressive silence. The shadows slithered back into the corners of the room, retreating into the very fabric of the walls. The air grew still, and I could see the dawning realization in their eyes, the terror of what they had denied for so long. "I'm sorry," my mother whispered, her voice shaking. I turned to leave, the door creaking behind me. "You should have," I said, my voice heavy with the weight of the truths I bore. "You should have listened." As I stepped back into the night, I felt a strange sense of clarity wash over me. I was no longer the family disgrace, but a warning, a testament to the shadows that lurked just beyond the veil of understanding. I had faced the darkness, and though it had left its mark, I had emerged stronger, more aware of the horrors that lay hidden in the world. And as I walked away, I could still hear the whispers in the ducts, echoing through the air, a reminder of the price of disbelief and the cost of mocking the unknown.